Hello YouTube, I'm Skunkman, and welcome to another video. So, today me and my mom have been cleaning my room. It's still a little bit messy, but we're still getting the hang of it. I got rid of my puzzle piece bookcase, and now I have a desk with a rolling chair around it, and so I'm gonna probably use that from now on. But this is so for this video, we're not going to talk about my room now. I'm gonna talk about my my top 10 favorite childhood shows. Now a lot of you have been asking, what shows did I like? Let me repeat that. Now, a lot of you people might be asking, what was your favorite childhood shows when you were a kid? Well, this video pretty much explains it all. We'll explain it all. So, here are my top 10 favorite childhood shows from when I was little. So, let's get started. Wait. Oh, I almost forgot. If any of you remember these shows on my list, then let me know in the comments. But if you hate any of these shows, well, yeah, I don't know. So anyway, let's get to the list. Starting with number 10, VeggieTales. Now, this is a really interesting show because this actually started back in 1990. This series started back in 1993. Yeah, this actually was one of the first shows to use computer animation. Yeah, this was before This was before Disney and Pixar released Toy Story, which is the first computer animated feature film. Well, VeggieTales actually predated that for 2 years ago. So the premise of the episode is, of course, so the premise of the show is that Bob the Tomato and Larry the Cucumber invite viewers into their house for some VeggieTales or whatever. They pretty much get letters from kids, and they ask certain questions like, what, like conquering feet, and they pretty much ask lots of, tell some stories featuring all the characters, and they pretty much show some lessons, and in between they have this segment called Silly Songs with Larry, where Larry the Cucumber sings a silly song, like the Water Buffalo song, Song of the Cebu, and the ever-popular Hairbrush song. So a lot of the lessons in the episodes, they tackle lots of subjects like trusting in God, forgiving others, loving your neighbor, staying true to yourself, telling the truth, being thankful, lots of other stuff. And that's pretty much it for VeggieTales. So that's pretty much it. Now let's go on to number 9, The Wiggles. Now these guys were a quartet of musicians that formed in 1991 in Australia. And yes, they're from Australia. So the members included Greg, Anthony, Murray, and Jeff. So they were originally a band, and they played songs to kids that tackle pretty much subjects that are familiar with them, like food and dancing and lots of other animals and other stuff. They also had friends with them, like Dorothy the dinosaur, Captain Feathersword, Wags the dog, and Henry the octopus, and they even have their own car, the Big Red Car. So these guys were actually one of my favorite bands growing up. I still even listen to their songs to this day. I have some of their albums on my Spotify account. But my personal favorite is Space Dancing. It's the one where they go into space, and that's actually where the spaceship in Team Houston came from. That's where I got the basis for Shippy. So overall, the Wiggles are are one of my favorites, and I was pretty much raised on them. Now we go to number 8. Number 8, Bob the Builder. Can we fix it? Yes, we can. That's the number 8 spot on the list. So originally this was a British show, but it made its way to the United States with the American dub. So it centers around a repairman / handyman named Bob the Builder, and he has a crew of sentient construction vehicles. These include Scoop, the yellow backhoe digger. They also include there's Muck, the bulldozer, Dizzy, the cement mixer, Rolly, the road roller, and Lofty, the timid crane. There's also his assistant Wendy, and there's also his cat Pilchard. There's also other characters like Farmer Pickles, who is the farmer, and there's Travis, the turquoise tractor, and my personal favorite character, Spud the Scarecrow. He's very funny. If you remember Bob the Builder, you might remember you might remember these characters. So if you know these characters, let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, this was a really good show. It was all about helping others, I guess, and not only was it about lessons, it also taught safety lessons, like a lot of stuff. Because, construction sites can be dangerous. So that's it for Bob the Builder. Now let's go on to number 7. Number 7 is Thomas and Friends. No, not that one! There we go. Thomas and Friends. This show actually started as a series of children's books in the 1940s by the Reverend Wilbur Awdry. And then they became really popular that they were picked up by a woman named Britt Allcroft and was soon adapted into a TV series in 1984 with narration by former Beatles member Ringo Starr. But in 1989, while the second season was running in the UK, they decided to bring the show to the United States, and thus the show Shining Time Station was born. And that would introduce Thomas to the United States. So if it wasn't for Shining Time Station, none of us American audiences would know who Thomas even is. Now, if you don't know Thomas the Tank Engine, you might know these characters. So he has lots of friends, like there's Percy, the green engine, there's James, the red engine, and lots of other stuff. There's also Sir Topham Hatt, the superintendent of the railway, or as they call him in the UK, the Fat Controller. And yes, that's what they call him in the UK. It's true. And there are also other characters, but I'd be here all day if I were to talk about them. So I used to watch Thomas and Friends a lot. I actually grew up with the 5th season, but I also grew up with the hit entertainment era, even though a lot of people don't like it. I actually like some of those episodes. They were pretty cool. I especially like the 50th anniversary special, the 60th anniversary special, Calling All Engines. That was a really fun one. And Thomas has been in lots of movies, even though most of them were direct to video. But the first one was Thomas and the Magic Railroad. That movie pretty much bombed and didn't really do so well. And now all we have is this terrible abomination. So, this is so bad. Let's just move on to number 6 before I go on ranting about it. Okay, number 6, JJ the Jet Plane. Yes, now, I know what you guys are thinking. Seriously, this creepy show? Yes, I know many of you people find this show to be creepy, but I wasn't one of those kids when I was little. So if you didn't know, this show is kind of similar to Thomas the Tank Engine, except the vehicles, which in this case are airplanes or aerial vehicles, have more human-like faces with stuff like that. So So this series was originally a Thomas and Friends clone that was made straight to video, but then it was picked up by Porchlight Entertainment and Tommy Nelson and was made into a TV series with CGI. And so the characters, there are only 3 of these characters, but I know them. So some of the characters are JJ. He's the main character. He's pretty much like Thomas the Tank Engine. He's young, he's cheeky, and lots of other things. Also, he's voiced by Debbie Derryberry, also known as the voice of Jimmy Neutron. Then there's Tracy. She's voiced by Sandy Fox. I don't know what else she voices. Oh, she also did the voice of Lily in the Leapfrog video series. And there's my personal favorite character, Snuffy, the Skyrider. He's so adorable. He was my personal favorite when I was a kid. He's so adorable. He's just like, he was almost like me, kinda. He was shy, and he was, timid, and the other characters, there aren't much characters. There's, Herky, the helicopter, and, Savannah, the supersonic jet, Old Oscar, the biplane. He's pretty much like the grandfather figure. Big Jet, Big Jake, and he's the father figure, the big, strong plane. And there's 2 road vehicles, Rev and Evan, the fire truck, and Tuffy, the tiny tow truck. And then there's also the human characters, like Brenda Blue, the airport mechanic, and that's pretty much it. Also, I hear that they're making a reboot, but I haven't seen any promos or anything like that. But I do know that they brought back the original voice cast. That's pretty cool. I just hope it's got the same characters. But they didn't bring Herky back in the reboot. So that's pretty much it for JJ. Even though a lot of you find this show creepy, I used to like it. Number 5, JoJo Circus. Now, this show, I was hooked on this show. This was one of my favorite shows from Playhouse Disney, now called Disney Junior. So it centers around a little clown girl named JoJo Tickle, and she lives in this town called Circus Town with her mom and dad and her pet lion, Goliath. And she pretty much does lots of activities and stuff, and pretty much you have to get up and dance and stuff like that. I don't remember the show much, but I do remember that I was hooked on that show. It was really fun, and a lot of the songs were catchy. Heck, I even have pictures of me with JoJo herself at Disney California Adventure when I was little. Like, here's the pictures. See? Right there, that's me. And I have 2 more. See, that's me right there? Right there. Don't I look adorable? That was one of my pictures from my first time at Disneyland. I saw JoJo outside of Playhouse Disney Live on stage. That was really fun. The memories. Okay, now we're moving on to number 4. So both of these entries both have shows from the Jim Henson Company. So I'm gonna separate them. So starting off, for the first one is number 4A, Fraggle Rock. Now, this show actually came out in the 80s, which, in this case, I didn't exist yet. I wasn't born yet. So, my only exposure to Fraggle Rock was on DVD. So, So, my first exposure to Fraggle Rock was on DVD, and with the Where It All Began DVD. That had the first 3 episodes of the first season. So the show is pretty much, it was originally a show to end war and pretty much show to pretty much make peace with others. And so the world of Fraggle Rock is divided into 3 species. There are the Fraggles, who are these characters, the Doozers, who are these little green guys who build all day. They're pretty much like ants. And the Gorgs, who are these big, giant, hairy creatures that think of Fraggles as pests. So, and there's the main. There are a lot of characters. So these 4 or 5 characters are the main Fraggles. There's Gobo. He's the leader. He's voiced by Jerry Nelson, who you might know as the Count from Sesame Street. There's Wembley. He's the undecisive kid brother of the Fraggles. He's also one of my favorites. There's Red. She's the kid sister of the Fraggles. She likes to swim and she's very energetic and very competitive. There's Moki. She's the oldest of the Fraggles. She's almost like a mother figure to the others. And then there's Boober. He's the downer. He's the downer, like he's more timid, cautious. He doesn't really like fun stuff. He likes to do laundry and cook and lots of other things. Yeah, this show is really fun. They even made an animated series of this show, but it was really short-lived. If anybody remembers the animated series, let me know in the comments below. Or if you remember Fraggle Rock entirely, let me know. Number 4B, Bear in the Big Blue House. So this is another Playhouse Disney show I used to love. I actually I didn't watch this on TV a lot. I actually grew up with this on DVD and VHS. So the show is about this orange bear, simply named Bear, and it also shows the other members of the. And he invites people inside his house to come over and do some stuff. And the other characters are Ojo, the little bear cub, who I think is Bear's niece, Tutter, the blue mouse, and there's Trilo, the childlike lemur. He was one of my favorites, and Pip and Pop, the otter twins. There was also other characters like Shadow, who is a talking anthropomorphic shadow that Bear talks to and tells stories. There's Ray, the son, who sings the Good Morning song with Bear at the beginning of some episodes. And there's Luna the Moon, who sings the goodbye song with Bear to end the show, to end the episodes. Yeah, this was a really fun show. If any of you remember the show, let me know in the comments below. So, also, in episode 19 of Team Husted, I included the Bear in the Big Blue House cast as guest stars. So, that's pretty much it for Bear in the Big Blue House. Now, let's get on to number 3. Number 3, Dragon Tales. This is another show I used to love. This is also apparently Dr. Blood Studios' favorite show. Yeah, apparently his persona is actually the son of one of the characters. I'll tell you later. So the show is about these 2 siblings named Emmy and Max. When they first move into their house in the first episode, they find a magic dragon scale, and they say the words, I wish with all my heart to fly with dragons in a land apart. And then the dragons on the wallpaper come to life. They spin around and around and around them, and then poof, they're in this place called Dragonland. And they meet some colorful dragon characters. There's Ord, the big, soft, strong dragon. He may be big, but he's also very nervous. There's Cassie, she's my personal favorite. She's shy, she's lovable, and she's adorable. She's also the member of she's also Fifi LaFume's assistant at Team Husted. And there's Zack and Wheezy, the 2-headed twins. They're also pretty cool. And there's also Quetzal, who is the teacher at the school in the sky. And there's a lot of other characters, but I'd be here all day in order to explain them all. And so that's pretty much it for Dragon Tales. Oh, also, that was for you, Dr. Blood Studios. If you're watching this, You should really... If you're watching this, this is for you. Okay, let's get on with number 2. Number 2, Sesame Street. Everybody remembers that. Everybody knows this show. This show has been on TV since 1969. Yes, it was that long ago. Yeah, this show is older than me. Like, older than all of us. So the show is pretty much it was pretty much a test. It was pretty much an experiment to test how like education on TV. And I think if it wasn't for this show, then we wouldn't have a lot of shows today. Like, everyone knows the characters: Big Bird, Elmo, Bert, Ernie, Grover, Cookie Monster. A lot of the show's characters. Yeah, we even know the songs like Sing a song, sing out loud, sing out strong, like that song. Or Rubber Ducky, you're the one, you make bedtime lots of fun. Rubber Ducky, I'm awfully fond of you. Yeah, those songs, those are really catchy. Yeah, I used to watch Sesame Street on TV all the time, and I also saw a lot of it on DVD and VHS. Yeah, my personal favorite character was probably... One of the characters' names was actually one of my first words when I was little. And can you guess who that was? Anybody? Alright, I'll tell you. It was Elmo. Yeah, one of my first words was Elmo. Yeah. And another character that was my favorite was probably Oscar the Grouch, because I could be kind of a grouchy person myself. Yeah, Sesame Street has been on TV for years. For 54, 53 years. Yeah, it's that old. So, that's pretty much it for Sesame Street. It's a long-running kids show. It's been on TV forever, and I don't think it's going to be stopping anytime soon. Now, before we go on to number 1, I'd like to have a few honorable mentions. PB&J Otter. This was made by the same person who made Disney's Doug. So the series centers around these 3 otter siblings. There's Peanut, the older brother, Baby Butter, who is the baby sister, and Jelly, the sister. So they live on this lake called Lake Hoo-Ha, and they live in a arc-shaped house on the river. And there are other characters, but I'd be here all day if I were to explain them all. But in every episode, they always do this dance called the Noodle Dance, which it helps them get their ideas. Also, this show is on Disney+. You should check it out if you have Disney+. Little Wonder Pets. This is probably one of the cutest shows ever. So it centers around... This is probably one of the cutest shows I've ever covered. So it centers around these 3 animals who live in a classroom, and these include Linny, the guinea pig, Tuck, the turtle, and my personal favorite, Ming Ming, the little duckling. So they pretty much get a call. Every episode, the phone rings, and they answer the call, and then they get ready, and they put together their flyboat, and they fly to where a baby animal is in trouble. Yeah, this show was really cute. Yeah, if I were to go to Nickelodeon Universe in Minnesota, and if I saw the Wonder Pets, I would just run up to them and give them a big old hug. I'd be like, I'm your biggest fan! You're so fluffy! Next honorable mention goes to Wow Wow Wubsy. Now, this was another show. Me and my cousin Eva used to love this show. So it centers around this yellow gerbil-like character named Wubsy. He's a adorable, bouncy character. The other characters include Widget, a pink rabbit character who invents. and Walden, a purple bear with glasses who likes science, and he's very intelligent. Also, the voice cast you might know some of these voices. Like Gray DeLisle Griffin voiced Wubsy, Laura Jill Miller voiced Widget, and Carlos Alazraqui voices Walden. You might know Gray DeLisle Griffin from The Loud House as Lola Loud, and The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy as Mandy. Laura Jill Miller voiced Henry Huggle Monster, and she also voiced Lisa Loud in The Loud House. And Carlos Alazraqui, you might know him as Rocco from Rocco's Modern Life, and Yo Quiero Taco Bell, the Taco Bell Chihuahua dog. And he's also the first voice of Spyro the Dragon, and he's also the voice of he does other voices in Skylanders. And in the second season, they introduced Daisy. She's adorable. She's also voiced by the one and only Tara Strong, the voice of Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls. So, this is a really adorable show. A very cute, adorable show. This was one of my favorites. Next honorable mention goes to Yo Gabba Gabba. This actually originated, this was one of my cousin's favorite shows. So it centers around a guy named DJ Lance Rock, and he pretty much brings to life these 5 toy monsters who are and he brings them to life with magic, and once they come to life, they're just people in costumes. The characters included Muno, a red cyclops, Fufa, the pink flower bubble, Plex, the yellow robot, he was one of my favorites, Broby, the green thing, and Tootie, the blue cat dragon. She was also my favorite. She's adorable. And they sing songs, they dance, and they have lots of segments in between, kind of like Sesame Street. And at the end of each episode, they pretty much remix all the songs they did throughout the episode in a mega mix. It was a really fun show. They have songs like Party in My Tummy and The Freeze Dance and lots of other stuff. Yeah, it was a really fun show for me and my cousin. Another honorable mention, and now for another honorable mention, Little Einsteins. Yeah, this is another Playhouse Disney show. This was made by the Baby Einstein Company. So it centers around these 4 kids. These include Leo, Annie, Quincy, and June, and they fly around in this rocket ship simply named Rocket. And they pretty much sing, dance, play instruments, and lots of other stuff. They also go into famous pieces of art like Starry Night, The Scream, and what else is there? Lots of other pieces of, pretty much pieces of art from all around the world. They go all around the world. And there's lots of classical music like Fur Elise by Beethoven and lots of other music and stuff. Yeah, it was a really fun show, very cute, and it was really fun. And next honorable mention goes to Blue's Clues. This is another show that lasted kind of a long time, and it was really fun. It was a really fun show. It centers around a blue dog simply named Blue and his owner Steve, who later was replaced by his brother Joe in the other episodes. And so they pretty much play this game called Blue's Clues, where Blue puts a paw print on 3 things, and Steve and the viewers have to find out what Blue. They have to figure out stuff. Once they find all 3 clues, they sit down on the thinking chair, and then they think, and then once they find the answer, they solve it. At the end, in the 6th season of Blue's Clues, Steve goes to college and his brother Joe takes over. They also have a spin-off show called Blue's Room, which features Blue as a puppet. She's so adorable in that. She's so fluffy. And soon after the show was over, After the original Blues Clues was over, a decade later, they made a reboot called Blues Clues and You. It's currently on TV, right? It's currently still airing right now. And he even made a movie called Blues Big City Adventure. It's on Paramount Plus. I think I might check it out. Next honorable mention goes to the 2005 Weeble series. I know this doesn't really classify as a TV show, but screw it. I'm still going to include this because they're still pieces of media I remember when I was a kid. So if you don't know the Weeble toys, they're those little things that wobble, never fall down, you know. Well, in 2004 and 2005,